there's one time there was a chap we met, he used to play the piano in the pub called the Boldon Lad. He asked us to come up one evening, you know, and have a join in with him with the piano. So the Boldon Lad had just opened then, it was going back about 1959, I think it was, at the time. And we went into the Boldon Lad and we joined in with a piano player. And then there was a chap come along asking if he could bring his drums in, you know. Said, oh yeah, the more the merrier. So he brought the drums in, and then they started calling us the Boldon Banjo Band, you know. And it was a name that stuck ever since. And then there was one or two old people who would come up and ask if we'd play for the pies and peace suppers. And then the fire service heard about us. Well, they used to run these annual Christmas parties for the old folks. The firemen used to run raffles and things throughout the year to get the funds, and they used to put a big spread on for these old folks. They used to have a big recreation hall in the fire station, you know, and the old folks used to get a real good dinner, and the banjo band used to have to play for them, and they used to really enjoy it after that meal, you know. The old people would get up and do the Charleston, and you'd see them hobbling in with sticks, and you just think they'd forgot the sticks, you know. They used to get up and enjoy the old tunes because they didn't have much of a chance to hear them live. They used to probably have one or two old records in the house, but they never heard the music played live where they could get up and dance communal, you know. And they used to enjoy that.
as far back as I can remember, when I went to sea to get money to earn a living, I was, wasn't quite 13. Because that time of day, they all took a boy to coil the ropes away. And you couldn't leave school to go, unless you went before the board. And then you would have to go down to the board, and they wanted to know all the questions about it, and you was left to go to sea. And I left, and I never did go back to school. But you had to be in the 7th standard. See, if you was in the 7th standard, they'd let you go. And you got 10 bob a week naffle money. That was, if you was herring catching, see, you got your 10 bob a week. But there used to be a lot of broken herring and all that. They called it offal. They sold that separate on the beach, you know. And you were supposed to have your share of that, then you never got none of that. You got the 10 bob a week. Well, you didn't get it. Your mother went down and got that 10 bob. She was good down there Saturday mornings, and she got the 10 bob, and next thing they was up the lap shop, wasn't they, Saturday dinner times. And there was all the old, my mother was an ironer in the laundry, the Grand Hotel, and all these old ironers, they used to go up there and have a sing-song. Yeah, that's where you got a lot of their songs off of them. Yeah, it was good old times, that was. Now once more the scene is changing, and we're on the battlefield. And our lads in blue were fighting for their noble flank to shield, when a stray shot struck our hero, and he's numbered with the slain. And as his shipmates brought him in, they heard this sweet refrain: "You'll be lonely, little sweetheart, in the spring. Those wedding bells for us will never ring, for your sailor lad is lying amongst the dead and dying. You'll be lonely, little sweetheart, in the spring." In the cottage sat a maiden, and she's weary, worn and sad, and the tears were rolling down her cheeks for the letter she's just had. And as she read it all again, it is more than she can bear. And when the morning broke, she'd gone 'twere all is kind and fair. And they laid her in the churchyard in the spring. Those wedding bells for her did never ring. And they built a little token, for they knew her heart was broken, when they laid her in the churchyard in the spring. Oh my God, ain't that awful? My mother must have been double drunk when she sang it.
My father used to sing that.
Yeah, I sing the song about Maggie. They said to me, they said to me one day, when I come down to Rye Harbour, when I was in this vessel, and I never knew no one saying, I was walking down the road, and I was in a bit of crabby harbour. So with me hand in me pocket and a few extra bob, Rye Harbour village I was right on the job, when someone said, "Johnny, I'm turning around. The landlady is crumbling in the village I found a nice Rye Harbour gown, a Rye Harbour gown." And I thought she was sweeter than honey. Said you rose and pearls with a rare on me clothes. Oh no, I spent all my money. At dear little miss, She gave me a kiss. She says my poor heart ain't no wound. And I'll never forget the first time I met that dear little boy of a gal.
Yeah.
Can I do trebles until I get them?
Yeah, that's what I want you to do until you get him. But do you want to try them slowly?
Yeah.
I'll play with you if you like. You want me to play with you?
Yeah.
When I play it for fishes or dances, dancing fishes, you know, I get a great satisfaction. And sometimes you have the parents telling you, oh, I knew she'd win, or he'd win when you were playing Jimmy, you know, you put it under their feet. But then, of course, if they lost, they don't come near you at all, these people. You know, they're all praised for you when their kids are winning. I suppose the same applies to the music, like, you know. Well, I started when I was 10. Of course, in the country place in Ireland, you didn't get the same facilities you get here nowadays. The musicians were very, very few and far between. And I was just lucky, an Italian professor came over from Italy to all the schools, and he used to teach us on a Saturday for about an hour. So it just meant if you were anxious to learn the fiddle, well, you had to learn it. Otherwise, he didn't care as long as he got his money, like, you know. And he left after about 6 months. But I had an uncle, fortunately, there was a uilleann pipe player and a fiddle player and a flute player. He played everything, an accordion, and he kept me at it. And when he see me losing interest, he used to invite some of the, you know, as I thought was good musicians in them days, fiddle players, to along to the house. And then I'd have interest, fresh interest again for maybe another 2 or 3 months, you know. So that's what it is. And then I went to Glasgow, like, for a while, and I got into a Cayley band there in Glasgow, like, in an Irish dance hall. I mean, real Cayley dancing. And there were couple of fine, 3 fiddle players in that. And I made the 4th fiddle, and they used to call it the Irish National Association Cayley Band. But then I never really got down to it properly when I came to London. And I met some Michael Gorman and other fiddle players, and Willie Clancy the Piper and all them, like, you know. And of course they gave me the fresh interest in it. I just can't keep away from it now, that's it.
That's where I started, yes, because a pal of mine called Peter Chalk, he tried to get me to sing on my own for years, you know, and trying to, particularly the place we went to, I remember we once went to the theatre workshop, because he worked there for a while as a carpenter, John Littlewood's in the East End of London, and he wanted me to go out and sing there, but I wouldn't ever stand up, you know, and sing in public like that. But he fixed me one night, because we went to Bedford on a Thursday, which was a quiet night, so you could hear the music, there's very few people in. And so, at the time, there was a big battle going on for who was going to rule Soho in London, you know. Jack Spott and Billy Hill were battling it out. And some of their lads came in that night, and they were all, I think both sides consisted of Irishmen, actually. And they were wearing trilbies, you know, and Macs and everything. They came in. And I was listening to music, and it was Thursday night before pay night, so I hadn't much money. And suddenly Peter started bringing over these whiskies, you know, and said, there you are, and I was drinking these whiskies, you know. About 11:15, plus the pub's closed at 11 in London. He said, right, you better get up and sing, he said, because those whiskies have been come from that gang, you know, and have had a good day at the races, but I've told him you're a good tenor and you won't get them to have a few whiskies inside. And he said, if you don't sing, you won't go out here alive, you know. So I got up and sang. And I left there on my bike about 1 o'clock in the morning, totally paralytic. Woke up in the lavatory with my bike the next morning.
Tell me that you're gone away. Don't say that we must part. Don't go and break my heart. You know I've loved you for these many years. Loved you night and day. Oh, won't you turn around and hear my plea and listen while I say, after you've gone, left me crying. After you've gone, there's no denying. You'll feel blue, you'll feel sad. You've lost the best man that you ever had. There'll come a time, now don't forget it. There'll come a time when you regret it. Oh, babe, think what you're doing. You know my love for you will drive me to ruin. After you've gone, after you've gone
Now in order, but you let us down pretty good this week. But I will have it next time you want it, man. Do you play the fiddle now?
Yeah,
No,
I was fiddle, wasn't
You're right. 20, no. Come in a tube like that, that means your wife. In the shoes. One lady down, count the shoes.
There's another lady over there. Another lady over there.
Oh, no, nothing.
Have a look down there now.
Two there? Where's everybody this morning? Quiet as anything, isn't it?
I went fishing with the boys one day, fished in a pond just round our way, fished like so, so you know, out come a diddler with a nice soft roe, how he wriggled in the jam jar, with tears in his eyes of blue. I was sorry when I lost my diddler, so now I'm asking you, has anybody seen my fiddler? Diddle, 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 diddler. I went fishing with a cod and a pin, how I laughed when I dragged it in, but coming home, oh dear, some rude boy, nicky hero, he put his hand in my jam jar and pinched my diddler. Now a week or two ago, by accident, you know, I taught me Sunday breeches right behind. I showed them to me wife, the treasure of my life, and I spoke to her so tenderly and kind. I said, I want these trousers patched with something that'll stand a bit of wear. Don't patch them with anything hard or stiff, or I shall be inclined to do a swear. She obeyed me, there's no doubt, for the next time I walked out. All the dogs went bow, wow, wow, round about the place they smelt, and the boys in the street cried meat, 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 and very, very queer I felt. When I discovered what the meaning of it was, for murder I was right. My wife had patched my Sunday pantaloons with a quarter of a yard of tripe. That's all it is for that one. He used to sing in his sleep all night long. In the middle of a beautiful dream, you would hear him start to scream, Alice, where art thou? Alice, I want you for my own. But his wife's name was Mary, so now he's sleeping alone. That's all I got.
I recently purchased an Eton boy cat, so I don't go to that famous school, but still it's an Eton and Peru, and half of it's Moth Eton too. I only bought it to go on a school treat, I wanted to swank as they say. We went to Hastings and very nice too, but we only went there for the day. I asked some old chap where the beer was. He stuttered, is how we began. You tattered to take the first, tattered to turn in, then tattered go straight as you can. Then tattered to turn to the left, and then you best wide. It's the good, I said that'll do, thank you. I've only come down for the day. There I sat on a seat all alone. Oh, that's the wrong verse. Well, that's all right. Everyone stared at my Eton boy's hat, as if to say he's well to do. He's well to do. Then some saucy young pup said, look at his saucer and cup. That's it, talk about beggars, they all tried to touch me, but I pushed them all on one side. Good man, just then an old man on one leg and on crutches came hobbling up to me and cried, you've got to face me, young fellow. So I open, old man, you'll excuse. I lost me left leg by an accident, mate, and the leg ain't a nice thing to do. You're lucky, old boy, you ain't lost any legs. I've lost one, I'm sorry to say. I said, well, I'd help you to find it, old boy. I've only come down for the day. There as I sat on a seat all alone, a party of lunatics fun. From some asylum they be, and one girl looked hard at me. Slipping away unobserved by her keepers, she said to me, hello, mate. Hello! That balmy girl, she chucked me under the chin, and so I chucked her under the seat. She said, this is our wedding morning. Together we'll be man and wife. We'll love one another forever and ever and settle in Hastings for life. We'll have the two children to start with, I think, a boy and a girl, I say. I said, well, I think, miss, you're asking too much, miss. I've only come down
But we don't want to go professional particularly, you know. We've thought about it and talked about it, but we're happy as we are, you know. I think that if we were professional, there'd be more pressure on us to go well everywhere. We'd be very upset if we didn't.
The danger might
go well.
The danger might be that we stop enjoying it.
And if we stopped enjoying it, the songs wouldn't be worth us doing it. You know,
they become completely mechanical, and then the whole thing would be lost. It takes us a long time to bring songs into the act. Sometimes over a 12-month period we might bring maybe 2 or 3 songs in, or hopefully we're going to try and get more in this next, because we do it in spasms, rehearsal sessions, whenever we get a bit of breathing space. Like if we've got a month when we're not working too much, then maybe we'll shoot for 4 songs or something like that.
They're very difficult songs. There's a lot of, they sound superficially very simple, but there's a lot of words in them, you know, and the tunes themselves are often very complex. And it takes a long time simply to get them right, you know. And when we've rehearsed them, it might take us 6 weeks to get one song into the act. But when it's we've rehearsed it as far as we can, and then we put it on the stage and do it on the stage, it's only half done then, because the thing develops in front of an audience. Everywhere we go, people say, well, why don't you dress up in the old bowler hats and the fancy waistcoats and do the old time, spelled T-Y-M-E, bit, you know. But if we did that in folk clubs, people would laugh us off the stage for the start. And anyway, we don't think that it's necessary to do that. As I said earlier, we don't treat the songs as antiques, and I think that if we did dress up, then that's a sort of concession to that old-time attitude.
What's the point of singing a song about a kid whose mouth's so big that his mother has to feed him with a shovel? I mean, what can be gained by putting a pearly waistcoat on or a red nose and a bowler hat? Nothing, because it don't affect the fact that the song is very funny, and they do speak up for themselves. I reckon if you're going to dress up, really, all you're doing is you're keeping the thing lying in state, you know, and making it antique. What we want to do is make it live again. That's what we're really about. That's what we're trying to prove.
I met a stray dog in the street, I did the other night. He gave 2 eggs and flew at me bags and gave me such a bite. I went back up and I told the wife, he filled me all with fear. As soon as I told her I'd had to bite, she whispered in my ear, here, oh, Timothy, let's have a look at it, Timothy, let's have a look. Cause if the dog's been having a laugh, he's 10 to 1, he's made a mark. There's half a pound of flesh, the food am I to talk. I'm lucky to know the damage was out, so Timothy, let's have a look, yeah. I'm lucky to know the damage was out, so Timothy, let's have a look, yeah. What's Andy taking home the dinner from the baker shop? Some rorty girls with rabbity curls demanding me to stop. And hanging up at me bob dog out, they all began to grin. They shouted to me, we're longing to see what's in your baking. Look at it, oh, Timothy, let's have a look at it, Timothy, let's have a look at it. It smells so nice, we only wish you'd take the claw from off the dish. Let's have a potato each and then we'll sling our ogre. We won't interfere with your mutton, oh dear, so Timothy, let's have a look at it, oh. Timothy, let's have a look at it, Timothy, let's have a look at it. It smells so nice, we only wish you'd take the claw from off the dish. Let's have a potato each and then we'll sling our ogre. We won't interfere with your mutton, oh dear. Timothy, let's have a Timothy, let's have a Timothy, can't go about this like a guitar. He's breaking the neck, so turn on his legs, so we might interfere with his mutton, oh dear. Timothy, let's have a Timothy, let's have a Timothy, let's have a look, yeah! Hey now, they run down in tresses, down by the stream in the shade of the down. She was gathering watercresses, was Martha the watercress girl.
At a concert held some time ago, for charity's sweet sake, you know, they said that they would like to hear my baritone voice ringing. So I went on that concert stage that night and started singing. And I was rewarded for my kindness. Had it been a nice bouquet, I wouldn't mind. But they struck me on the head with a cabbage large and red, and that's what I got for thinking.